Welcome to your Journeys lesson of Day 3 of Lesson 5. So today we are going to get started with our phonemic awareness warm-up like we do every lesson. And today we are going to say a word and then we are going to listen to all of the letter sounds in the word and blend them together. So let's get started. For example, if I say the word go, go. Say the word go. Go. What letter sounds do we hear in the word go? Go. If we were to blend the word go together, we would hear g-o. G-o. We hear the g for the G and the o for the O. G-o. Go. Let's try the word fish. Fish. Say the word fish. What letter sounds do we hear when we say the word fish? What sounds do we hear in the word fish? Fish. Let's try and hear it together. Let's get our arm up and let's blend it together, okay? F-I-sh. F-I-sh. The f comes from the F in fish, the I is the I in fish, and the sh is the SH when we hear f-I-sh. All together, fish. Next, let's do the word wish. Wish. What letter sounds do you hear in the word wish? When we blend all those sounds together, what sounds do you hear in the word wish? Let's listen. W-I-sh. W-I-sh. The W makes the W sound. The I makes the I sound. And the SH make the sh sound. So when we put all those sounds together, we get w-I-sh, wish. Our next word. Oh, this is some of your guys' favorite animal. Let's do the word cat. Cat. When I say the word cat, what letter sounds do we hear in the word cat? Cat. Let's listen. K-at. K-at. The C makes the K sound. The A makes the at sound. And the T makes the T sound. So when we put those sounds together, we hear K-at. K-at. All together, cat. Okay, let's do one more. What about the word leg? Leg. When we say the word leg, what letter sounds do we hear in the word leg? Leg. Let's try it. Put your arm up. We hear leg. Leg. The O is the L in leg. The E sound is the E in leg. And the G makes the G sound. So when we put those sounds together, we get leg. Leg. All together, leg. Okay, great job, guys. Let's do some review with our daily frequency words and our vocabulary words that we learned this week. All right, class, now we are going to go over our daily frequency words. These are also called our sight words, and we are going to be doing it by doing our cheers. So if you remember, we've done this before in our lessons. When we have a word, and we'll say, give me an F, F. F, give me a U, U, U. And how we cheer all of the letters of each word Well, we are going to be doing that today with our words. So let's get started. The word is many. Many. What's the word? Many. Starting with the M. Starting with the M. Ready? Give me an M. 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 Give me an A. 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 Give me an N. 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 Give me a Y. 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 That spells the word many. Okay, let's do our next one. The word is full. Full. What's the word? Full. Okay, let's get started. Give me an F. 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 Give me a U. U. Give me an L. 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 Give me another L. 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 So the word is full. Word is friend. Friend. What's the word? Friend. Okay, let's get started, starting with the F. Give me an F. 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 Give me an R. 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 Give me an I. 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 Give me an E. 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 Give me an N. 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 Give me a D. 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 The word is friend. All right, the word is hold. Hold. What's the word? Hold. All right, let's get started. Give me an H. 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 Give me an O. 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 Give me an L. 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 Give me a D. 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 The word is hold. Give me a P. 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 Give me a U. 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 Give me an L. 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 Give me another L. 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 The word is pull. The last word. The word is good. Good. What's the word? Good. Okay, last one, boys and girls. Give me a G. 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 Give me an O. 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 Give me another O. 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 Give me a D. 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 Awesome job, you guys, cheering your sight words today. Now to review our vocabulary that we learned this week, and then we are going to read a little bit more about Gus Takes the Train.
Now that we've read our story, Training Around the Town, let's go ahead and look at our oral vocabulary for this lesson. Our first vocabulary word that we will be looking at is the word subways. Subways. Subways are underground trains. In our story today, the word subway is used in the sentence, subways are a special kind of train. The next vocabulary word we learned was the word space. Space means an open area or room. In our story, the word space is used when it says, because a subway is underground, it does not take up space on city streets and alleys. Our next vocabulary word is the word alleys. Alleys are narrow streets, usually behind or between buildings. In our story, it says, because a subway is underground, it does not take up space on city streets and alleys. Alleys are narrow streets that are usually behind or between buildings. Our next word that we learned is the word ferry. A ferry is used to carry people or things from one place to another. Notice how ferry is spelled F-E-R-R-Y. I know some of you might be thinking of a fairy, like a small person with wings, but that is spelled differently and also means something different. When we talk about a ferry, we are talking about something to carry people or things from one place to another. In our story, the word ferry is used when it says the boxy, brightly painted subway cars would ferry shoppers from the parking lots to the store. So it would carry people from one place to another. Our next word was the word dash. Dash. The word dash means to move quickly. In our story, the word dash is used when we say, when they finished shopping, they could dash from the store to their cars in just minutes. So that means they could move quickly from their store to their car. And our last word is the word sealed. Sealed. The word sealed means closed up. In our story, the word sealed is used when it says its underground tunnel was sealed. That means that it's saying the underground tunnel was closed up. So Gus takes the train is our story. As we read through the story, Mrs. Collier will read the sentence, and then I want you to whisper read it with me. So it says, Gus has to run to get the train. So read that with me. Gus has to run to get the train. He has a big bag to pull. So read that with me. He has a big bag to pull. Notice how the word pull is highlighted in our sentence. Pull is one of our daily frequency, or also called sight words in our story. Run, Gus, run. So say it with me. Run, Gus, run. Gus cannot pull up his bag. Read it with me. Gus cannot pull up his bag. The conductor can help him. Read that with me. The conductor can help him. Who is the conductor? The conductor is the man with the hat and the uniform on. A conductor is usually the person who is in charge of a train. So our conductor is helping Gus pull up his bag. The train is full. Say it with me. The train is full. Gus sees many kids. Gus sees many kids. Gus sat. Gus sat. His big bag can go up here. His big bag can go up here. So, boys and girls, in our story, where is Gus at? Where is Gus at right now? Gus is on a train. Gus met a friend. Read it with me. Gus met a friend. Peg and Gus sing and play. Read it with me. Peg and Gus sing and play. So who is our new character? Our new character is Peg. Peg is Gus's new friend. Peg can hold the cups for Gus. Peg can hold the cups for Gus. They are too full. They are too full. So what is Peg doing? Peg is holding the cups for Gus. What do you think Gus is putting into the cups? It looks like Gus is putting milk into the cup. Peg and Gus have a sip. Peg and Gus have a sip. It is good. It is good. Gus can see a lot. Gus can see a lot. A funny bug is on the window. A funny bug is on the window. We are here. We are here. Gus had fun on the train.
Now that we have reread Gus Takes the Train, we are going to be doing an activity together. This activity is called Your Turn. Now, it's going to look a little bit different because we're not in class together, but that's okay. First, it wants us to tell what happens on the train. It wants us to tell what Gus does first, next, and then last. Then it wants us to draw a picture of something Gus will see at the zoo. So, what we will do first is go back in our story, Gus Takes the Train, and look and see what we can find. We need to find what does Gus do first, next, and then last. So, let's look back in our story, Gus Takes the Train. Now, boys and girls, when we are going to tell in a story what happens first, next, and last, we are not going to share every single thing that happened. We are going to be doing something called summarizing, meaning we are only going to say specific parts of the story in a shortened version. So we are not going to include every single thing. So let's think about what Gus does first. What does he do first? Well, let's look at our pages first. So Gus is at the train station. He is going up to the train. He sees the conductor. Gus gets on the train and the conductor is helping him with his bag. Gus sees a lot of kids. Gus puts his bag away with the conductor. And then Gus meets his friend Peg. So boys and girls, we said a lot of different things. So we are not going to say all of that. We're not going to say, okay, first Gus went to the train station. Then he got on the train. Then he did this. Then he did this. Mrs. Collier just said all those things just so we could review what happened in the story. Now, if I were going to describe what just happened in our story, I would say, first, Gus got on the train and found his seat. That is what I would say to describe and summarize what happened in all of these pages. I would say Gus got on the train and found his seat. So that is what we could say happens first in our story. Okay? So we have summarized all of those pages to say Gus got on the train and found his seat. So now we need to say what happens next in the story. What happens next in the story? So just like we did, we are going to look through our pages and review and take that information and summarize it to say one thing for next. Okay, so this is where Peg and Gus are pouring some milk into cups. Peg and Gus are drinking the milk in the cup. Gus is looking out his window. And then we get to the end of our story where they arrive at the zoo. Well, we couldn't include all of that information because that would also include what happens at the end of our story. So if we said first, Gus got on the train and found his seat, we could say next, Gus and Peg drank milk. So we could say first, Gus got on the train and found his seat. Then we could say, then Gus and Peg drank some milk. In the last part of our story, Gus and Peg went to the zoo. So we could say first, Gus got on the train and found his seat. Next, Gus and Peg drank some milk. And last, Gus and Peg went to the zoo. So that, boys and girls, is an example of how we could summarize and retell what happened in our story. We gave enough details and told enough about what happened in the story without having to retell everything that happened in the story. Next, if you would like, it says that you can draw a picture of something that Gus will see at the zoo. So if you think about what kind of animals are at the zoo, there might be an elephant, a giraffe, sometimes there are birds and zebras, depending on what kind of zoo you go to. So if you would like, you can draw a picture of what kind of animal Gus and Peg might see at the zoo. You don't have to, but if you would like to draw a picture to show what kind of animal they might see at the zoo, you absolutely can. Next, we have some questions about our story. Number 1 says, why does Gus take the train? Why does Gus take the train? We could say that Gus takes the train in order to take a trip somewhere. We saw in the beginning of the story that Gus had a bag with him and he was running to the train at the train station. We also saw at the end of the story that the train dropped him off near the zoo. We could say that maybe Gus was taking the train to go to the zoo. Number 2. Question 2 says, how does Peg help Gus? Well, let's think. Peg was Gus's friend with the pink hair, and she sat next to him in the seats. Do you remember where in our story that Peg was able to help Gus? Let's look back in our story. What about here? Our sentence says,
Peg can hold the cups for Gus. They are too full.
So Peg is holding the cups for Gus while he pours the milk. Then they drink the milk together. So we could say that Peg helps Gus by holding the cups. That was very helpful to Gus. And our last question, question 3, says, think about the end of the story. What will Gus do next? Well, let's look back. If we go to the last page of our story, we see the conductor, Gus, and Peg. We've talked about where they end up at the end of the story. Do you remember what the sign says in the back? The sign says zoo. Gus and Peg ended up at the zoo. So what do you think might happen next in the story? I think that Gus and Peg will go to the zoo and have a very fun day. What do you think Gus will do next? For our phonics practice today, we are going to be working with 2 new sounds. So we've seen these sounds in our alpha friends, but today we are going to be working with words that have the Q-U qua sound and our Z-Z sound. Let's get started. So starting with the letter Z, the Z sound, I have some words that we are going to go over that all have something in common. Do you see what all of these words have in common? All of these words have a Z in them. So in some point of these words, they're all going to say Z. So let's look at our first one. We have B, Z, buzz. Put it all together. Buzz. Like a buzzing bee. We have a double Z in this word. It still makes the Z sound. This word has both of the sounds that we're working with. It has the Q-U, which in like queenie, queen, on alpha friends, it makes the qu sound. So you have qu is, qu is. It almost sounds like the S, the S sound, but when we put it all together, we get the word quiz. Qu is. Our next word that we have that also has a Z in it, we have freeze. Freeze. Put it all together. Freeze. Like I'm going to freeze something in the freezer. So this word is freeze. All of these words have the Z sound. And our last one, we have the word eyes. 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 All together, prize. Like I won a prize out of the claw machine. So we have buzz, quiz, freeze, prize. It's fun to do the z sound. Now let's look over some words that have the qu sound. Now let's talk about some of our words that have the qu sound in it. Our first word, this is the one from our alpha friends. This is queen. Queen. So it has the Q-U in the beginning of each of these words for qu sound. So we have queen. Next we have quilt. Quilt. A quilt is like a blanket. Sometimes it's handmade and it's a little bit heavier. So the word quilt, we're talking about a blanket when we see the word quilt. And next we have the word is. So this is a word that we saw when working with our Z sound because this has the qu and the z. So we just have to put in our I sound so we get qu is. Quiz. And next we have quit. Quit. So we have queen, quilt, quiz, and quit. So we learned the qu sound and the z sound. Can you think of any more words that have a qu sound in it or a z sound? For more phonics practice, let's go ahead and open up our reader's notebook to page 66. Our reader's notebook is the one with the cat on the front who is reading a book. If you open to page 66, you will see it says consonants Q, U, and Z, or consonants qu and z. Okay, so if you need a couple of seconds to get your reader's notebook out and open to page 66, go ahead and pause the video so that you are all ready to begin. If you are open to page 66 in your reader's notebook, then let's go ahead and get started. So we are working with the consonant sounds qu and z. So we are going to name each picture and think of the beginning sound. So that is going to be the first sound that we hear. We are either going to write qu or z, or write q-u or z. Because those are the letters, but we're also listening for the sound. So I will either say we're going to write qu or qu, just in case you're like, Mrs. Collier, right, what? So we are going to be listening for the sound, but writing the letters. So let's look at our first picture here on number 1. This is a picture of let's see, she has a crown. She's dressed very nicely. Let's think of our alpha friends. This is a picture of a queen. A queen. Does the word queen start with our qu sound or a z sound? Queen. Queen begins with the qu sound. So we are going to write the letters Q, U. So make sure we write our circle for a Q and then our tail of our Q. That just looks like a little hook almost. So Q, U is what we would write in the blank to make the qu sound for queen. Next we have a picture of what is this a picture of? We may have seen them in a zoo before. They have black stripes and they are white. This is a zebra. A zebra. Does zebra begin with the qu sound or the z sound? Zebra. Zebra begins with the letter Z, with that beginning sound being Z. So we are going to write a Z for the blank. So far on number 1, we have qu for queen. And on number 2, we have Z for zebra. Let's look at number 3. We talked about this word earlier. This looks like a blanket, but it is called something else. Do you remember what that word was called? This was called a quilt. A quilt. Does the word quilt begin with the qu or the z sound? Quilt. Quilt begins with the Q-U sound, the qu in quilt. We are going to write Q-U for quilt, quilt, quilt. Number 4, let's look at this. This is a picture of a lot of us have these on our pants and on our jackets when it's cold outside. This is a picture of a zipper. A zipper. Does zipper begin with the qu or z sound? Zipper. Zipper begins with the z sound. Z in the blank for the z sound in zipper. Now I want you to look at number 5 and number 6. 5, we have a picture of the number. What number is this? The number 0. Does the word 0 begin with the qu sound or the z sound? 0. Write that in the blank and then we will check it in just a minute. Is this a qu sound or a z sound? And number 6, we have a picture of a, what do we call this? Do you know? It is a mark that goes at the end of our sentence when we ask a question. This is a question mark. So does question mark begin with the qu sound or the z sound? So on number 5, let's look back. We had the number 0. For number 5, does 0 begin with the qu or the z sound? For number 5, we should have put the Z for the Z sound in 0. And on number 6, for our question mark, did we put a qu for question mark or a Z for question mark? Question mark begins with the qu sound, so we should have put our qu sound, Q, U. So we have qu, queen, zebra, quilt, zipper, zero, and question mark. Great job, everybody. All right, that is it for our phonics practice. Now let's read our decodable, and then we'll be all done for today. For our decodable today, we are going to be reading the story, Fun. So boys and girls, as we read our decodable today, I want us to try and read the sentences together. So we will read each sentence twice. So if you want to listen to Mrs. Collier read the sentence the first time, that's okay. But if you want to read it with me both times, that would be great too. So let's look at the picture on the front of our story. We see two people, and it looks like they are ice skating. If we look at their feet, we can see they have some skates on. They are skating on ice, and it looks like it might be very cold because of all of the snow on the mountain and on the ground. Okay, let's get reading. It says, Kim can hold on to Mom. Kim can hold on to Mom. It is fun. It is fun. Bud and Jim zig and zag. Bud and Jim zig and zag. It is fun. It is fun. Class, do you notice how the word zig and zag have the z sound that we were just working on? Zig and zag. It is fun. Liz and Jen run. Liz and Jen run. It is fun. It is fun. Deb and Gus play tag. Deb and Gus play tag. It is fun. It is fun. Ted can play with Dad. Ted can play with Dad. It is fun. It is fun. Do not quit. Have fun. Do not quit. Have fun. Have fun. Have fun. Class, do you notice how the word quit has the Q-U-Q sound that we were working with? In our story, Fun, we saw a lot of different people in the types of ways that they have fun. We saw some people playing baseball. Some people were playing hockey. Some friends were playing tag. And some were even playing tennis. Can you think of some ways that you have fun? One way that Mrs. Collier has fun by dancing. I love to dance. What do you do to have fun? Do you go outside? Do you play with others? What do you do to have fun?